say ladies and gentlemen in gender neutral terms.
Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo.
Ladies and gentlemen, why would you want to play for Jerry Jones? It's a question that we've been talking. It's a question that us New York and Philly boys have been asking for the last 10 minutes or so. Craig and I were honored to see that we watched Derek sit down and find out Micah Parsons was no longer on the was a Packer. We knew he wasn't going to be on the Cowboys. Yeah, we were just talking how much a piece of shit Jerry Jones is.
Another thing,
Which is
real
great.
quick from that
See, we can agree with things that we will never agree on New York and Philly, but we can all go, well, fuck Jerry Jones.
Yeah. Another thing he said in that documentary that just made me want to, they asked him, what was your, all this money you have, all these things you bought, what's the greatest thing you've ever bought? What was your greatest purchase? And he looks and he goes, Deion Sanders. And I go, oh my God. Like,
okay.
What are we doing? Like, I know what he means, but why would you,
I did not know he said that.
Yeah.
I didn't know he said that either. I thought he would say the stadium.
Right? Or the team itself, right? Man, Deion. Yeah.
And there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he wouldn't say that because, at least I was going to say he doesn't put his boys into the face of the sun, but he technically did with the stadium. So what the fuck am I talking? Idiot. I know nothing about the new stadium. I say new, it's been around 6 years now?
Yeah.
But
hi, Judah.
I found out hi Judah.
Say hi. Come here. Say hi.
All I know is I've learned everything I need. Hello. I've learned everything I need to learn with watching the Eagles play the Cowboys and the fact that the sun blinded everybody.
Yeah.
So,
Daddy, what's your hug?
And it's always on that one side of the stadium. It's the worst.
Daddy,
It's the worst.
Daddy, what's your hi?
You said hi.
he said hi. Hi.
Hi, Judah.
Hi, Judah.
And the thing is, it's a retractable roof. You can put the shades down at any time, especially if you're playing during the day.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to say, in the midst of talking trash on an old white man, your son is freaking adorable.
Thank you. Thank you.
You were all
Judah, I'm not even mad. I don't care.
Judah,
I don't care.
Judah, you were almost named Dan.
Yes.
I wasn't going to bring that up.
Daniel.
You almost named me. I'm sorry.
Okay.
The only white guy that your dad probably doesn't talk bad about because I mean well.
No, what's that shirt you said? It says he has a shirt that says I love all the colors of the crayon box. So we play your truck. Get your monster truck.
And that's the difference between you as a father and hers. So what do you want to talk about first? The union, or do you want to talk about Jackson's kid?
Probably Jackson's kid, right? Especially since I was just watching that thing you sent.
Okay, I was
watching it too.
Okay, so how far did you guys got far enough? I'm assuming.
I got right after when they said that Syko Sid's mom was in the front row.
Yo.
Yes. Yeah. Right.
All I have to, I'm not gonna curse in front of your son, so I'm gonna behave here. It's 2025. Hello.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say hi. This episode could be just hi back and forth. I don't care. I'll be happy.
Go play with your monster truck.
Monster trucks. See, don't get me started, Derek.
We have grave digger trucks over there. look, Judah, look. What's that? What's that? Is it a monster truck?
See, my grave digger's downstairs.
What's my name?
We have like a million grave. My oldest son was really into it, so we have like grave digger. We have like, there you go.
There's old grave digger.
What the world?
There he is.
Yeah.
We have grave digger. We have son of a digger. All these other Backwards Bob and all these other
Backwards Bob. Yeah.
all these crazy ones. But
There's a new one. The other version of Backwards Bob is Reverse Racer. It's just the same thing with a different name, and it's hilarious. So yeah, it's 2025, and we are still letting people get. He got set up, man. That guy.
yes,
Syko.
that's what it seems like.
Syko Stu got set up.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
Daddy, want to say hi?
But for what though? That's what I don't understand any of this. Why he was being the cowboy dude was instigating everything. Get your receipt, man. That's not what a receipt is.
At
Yeah.
all. At all.
But
No.
you know what's messed up about this, Derek and Craig, and I'm glad because I'm going to go to both of you for two different perspectives. I thought about this, believe it or not.
Okay.
My first problem is even he's like the cowboy hat guy, whatever his name is, I've forgotten because I'm so angry. The Knox Pro dude's like, that's not what a receipt is. I'm like, well, why didn't you explain that to him?
Yeah. Why didn't you
before
tell him
you
that?
sent him in there?
Yeah. Yeah. Why didn't you tell him that's not what a receipt is?
And
at all?
and to double down, this man is on stream talking about what he's gonna do. So as we were saying in private, this man is screwed in a court of law. He's done, and he's and the only reason why he's not done in the jury of his peers is because some of his peers are kind of stupid.
Yeah, and not only is it assault, it's aggravated assault because he punched him. Well, the slam was assault, and every punch after that is just aggravated.
But because of the severity of his injuries and because of what he said before he stepped in the ring, the charge could be attempted murder. And because he talked about it so much ahead of time, I'm going to do it premeditated. So
apparently, to answer your question, Craig, apparently this was reason enough to get a receipt on somebody. And Misty, this is basically what's going on. So this was a show at Knox Pro. The booker is behind him in the cowboy hat. They're having they're having an argument in the section where the boys are. And they're having an argument, and he hits him upside the head. This is supposed to be a work.
Yeah.
With a soda can, which apparently he didn't like.
Yeah.
Now they seem to kind of squash it in this conversation. Like, I'm sorry, I went too far. He says, I'm sorry, I went too far.
They shook hands.
They shook hands. He admits to going too far. Like, all right, that's my bad. I'm sorry. And then later on, Raja Jackson and Booker Man here, which I have no respect for, and I don't care if you don't like that. Right here in this conversation, he's saying, "Get your receipt. Get your receipt." First of all, wear some tights that cover your anyway. And then later on, during Syko Stu's match, here we go. This is unedited, Misty. So if you don't like watch somebody really getting beat up, close your eyes. But here it is.
Yeah.
Raja Jackson gets in the ring, takes Syko Stu, does a slam, which he tries.
I thought that knocked him out.
Yeah.
Well, if that didn't, that did. So, Derek, you first.
Right.
You're a trainer you're an MMA trainer. You have gone. You have sparred. You have fought. What's your thoughts on all this crap?
It's so much. First thing, this is a clear example of if you're going to teach your children or raise your children to any type of martial art, whether it's boxing, anything, you have to teach them discipline. Because the first thing he obviously has an anger issue. It's very obvious. And anybody who I've ever known trained in any type of way, the right way, you walk away from a problem quicker than you look for a problem. He hit him in the head. He apologized. And how anybody wasn't watching that stream and listening to him openly say, I know it's scripted. I know it's fake. What I'm about to do in there isn't fake.
It's not script. Yes.
How nobody affiliated with that school didn't hear that and go, let's get to him. And
Yeah,
I don't
nobody there was monitoring the stream. I find that hard to believe.
Yeah, and I don't want to knock the people who are in the ring because you don't expect that to happen. But after the third punch, why anybody didn't grab him, push him off?
Brother,
Hey, stop.
I don't care if it's disrespectful. I'm with you. Why did it take so long? And props to this gentleman in the center. I forgot his name with the mohawk. He kind of saved his life.
Yeah.
The one person who jumped in.
Yes.
To kind of he was 17 years old.
Mm-hmm.
The guy with half his face painted.
Oh, the face paint kid. Yeah, he looked young.
Yes, he was 17.
And he's like, I don't know what to do.
Legally, because he thinks it's still part of the show. The list of things that went wrong here starts at the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
You're in the back. First of all, no one's smarting him up. I don't know why. Anyway, I don't know. It's not a dressing room. You're in a parking lot with a tent with all the boys. Secondly, no one should be just walking in. And obviously, and there was many wrestlers that had to dress in, a lot worse conditions than that, especially if you go back to the territory days. Sure. They had to change in outhouses and what have you. But it's still, that spot is for the boys. And how Raja Jackson got back there in the first place, and if they were planning to do an angle, because when you look at that, they were setting something up between Syko and Raja when he said, "You don't know who I am? You don't know who I am?" And he goes, "No, I don't know who you are." And that was Syko's cue to go, "Oh, you don't know who I am, huh?" And then bam, then hit him with the. So, either Raja didn't know it was coming, so he was legitimately pissed, and B, if he did know it was coming, why didn't you smarten him up? It goes back to the very beginning. Why wasn't this kid smartened up to what we're going to do? And when you get hit, you sell. But we'll move past that because they squashed it and they shook hands. And we'll say later on, you're going to go back in the ring and you're going to, because the whole thing was supposed to be, I'm piecing this together almost a week later, an angle. They got into it backstage, quote unquote, in the parking lot, and then he hit him over the head with the soda can. I guess Raja was supposed to sell it, go down or something, and then Raja would get it, come back later on the match and interfere. But everything went because no one smartened him up to the business, and Cowboy had dude instigating the whole thing, getting back your receipt, and Raja isn't wound together too tight in the first place. Guy already has anger issues. Rampage is trying to blame it on a concussion he had a week earlier. Already looking for, an out as to how to explain his son's homicidal behavior. But the whole thing
you're
was
not
bullshit.
helping, by the way, dude. You're not helping.
No, the whole thing was bullshit. Why no one jumped in? The only one who did was a 17-year-old. You shouldn't have been in there in the first place if he's only fucking 17.
Yes,
and he was
also
scared out of his bed.
Here he is, right?
Yeah.
And for those watching the stream, there's the kid who's trying to pull him off, but he thinks it's part of the show, so he's like, "Do I pull him off?" He didn't know what to do.
Yeah, and he's scared to death. And the guy that came running in with the mohawk, later he saw what Rampage was trying to fight him and tried to double leg him. And so he said, "Well, if he gets me down, he's going to do the exact same thing he just did to Syko. So I'm not letting this person, I was going to say fucker, person do this to me." And he punched him and he got a bloody eye. So that's when the Mohawk dude headbutted him because now it's a full-on shoot. And the most effed up thing of all effed up things of all that was the referee counting the pin.
They pinned him.
Like this was a match?
The only defense I have is benefit of the doubt to the referee who doesn't know what the fuck is going on. They are told if somebody covers, you count. So unless somebody told him not to, I'm just trying to give somebody a break because everybody else can go fuck themselves here.
I understand,
Pardon
but
my friend.
this was a laundry list of where everything went wrong. Because first of all, how Knox is probably going to be shut down if it hasn't been already. WWE has already divorced itself from them. I still don't know what Syko Sid's condition is, or if he's awake,
he
or if
is
he's conscious
awake,
or whatever.
and he has no memory of what happened. And there's a lot of damage he's going to have to overcome.
But everyone affiliated with Knox Production has been told not to cooperate with the police.
Yes, they've gone out of their way, and it's been made clear. If you feel that way, to go fuck yourself. Like, I don't know.
You
witnessed an attempted murder. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Derek.
I was gonna say it was so much, and as they were pinning him, at least the footage I saw, you could hear a little kid going, "There's so much blood. What's going on?" And they're counting the three as this little kid is in the crowd narrating, terrified. At first I thought the guy in the picture was Samu, but they said it was Black Pearl.
Yeah.
Who's another. You would think that family's tied to, they've been in the industry forever.
Mm-hmm.
You would think if anybody back there was able to piece all this together, it would have been him. He'd be like, "Hey, look, we're not going to do this. We're not going to do that." I was listening to a podcast. I forget who it was. And there was a guy, he's an independent wrestler. He's a ref. He's a referee. And he goes, when you do things like that, and there's somebody who's not involved, they're not a worker, the first thing you ask them is, what do you know about the business? And what can you do? And then you smarten them up from there. And it seems like they just had, and they were just like, all right, we're going to shoot this angle. And then his reaction when he's pacing back and forth on the streets after all this happened, he's like, "I have people bullying me and doing this," and he's just, and I'm thinking in my head, like, how nobody called the cops at that very moment? How he was able to leave the arena and nobody called the authorities?
Well, how he was able to leave the arena? No one beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah,
that's what I'm not getting. Of all the things that I've heard firsthand or third hand, second hand, things I've witnessed myself, how this man is standing. And the other guy, I don't get it.
I don't get it either, because that's how far we've come as in a wrestling biz, that there's no, right now, I still don't know why no one beat the shit out of Travis Scott for Potato and Cody.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a code. I mean, Enzo, everybody in the locker room hated Enzo. Go back to NWA. Everybody in the locker room couldn't stand Tully for the most part. But if a fan attacked Tully, you don't think all the boys would beat the shit out of him? Or if even Enzo?
I mean, Brock Lesnar and what was a work cut Randy Orton open with his elbow. Chris Jericho thought it was real and attacked Brock when he got in the back. He thought it was real.
And then he was later told that it was, but it's like, well, okay, why the fuck you didn't want to tell me?
Yeah, let me know. Yeah.
Yes, that it's going to be a work. Yeah, but that code is gone. So no, Rod Jackson shouldn't have been able to walk out. I mean, cops should have been called immediately, but no, he shouldn't have been able to walk out. Everybody should have took turns on that guy.
Agreed. And I just want to point out, this is two black men talking about another black man. It's not a race thing. This is not a race. I just want you to know, because everybody's like, well, why don't you ban? This is not a race thing. This is a douchebag did something douchey, and he should be swallowing his own fucking teeth for making the other guy who did nothing, and even if it was perceived, apologized for it. My bad, dude. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I didn't know. Yeah.
Then swallowed his own teeth.
Unfortunately, this has become the most watched indie wrestling match of all time. And indie wrestling is not going to I mean, it's already in the shitter, but it's not going to get any better. I mean, as far as legitimacy goes, with people wanting to be wrestlers now.
Right. What a bad time for it to happen, because we are in the midst of people are being priced out of life, let alone leisurely stuff like WWE or AEW, ticket prices, and people are just pushing the whole let's go to indie wrestling. And then this happens. It's like, indie wrestling, you're not doing yourself any favors. Can you please stop being stupid for a day?
And it's just a matter of time. It might be a month, it might be 2 months. Somewhere on some indie show in the middle of nowhere, somebody's going to try to recreate that spot. Just to see if they can get any type of headlines for it. And that's the sad part too.
I'm surprised it didn't happen at the ECW arena yet.
Yeah. And luckily there wasn't nobody was hurt yesterday at the ECW arena, and not for lack of trying. I mean, AEW is going to be there. It's there for the next week. I think they're there. They're here. I'm in Philly here all weekend. They did a special tribute to Taz last night after AEW went off the air. But the one thing is the wrestling there, and we're in Philly, so we got to do some crazy shit because we're in Philly. We got to take it extreme. But the extreme so far has been it being a non-union show.
Well, I would like to. I'm glad you brought this up because I would like to clarify a few things. So, the union was there protesting, and it's serious. Apparently, my wife learned something new. Kelly has never heard of the inflatable rat before, so I think this is. I believe this is more of a. Down where we are, it's an at will. You're at will, baby. It's an at will. It's an at will hire. So if you're getting hired or fired, you could fart wrong, and they're like, you're gone. So I don't think the inflatable rat is a thing down here. Unions are much stronger up there, up in the Northeast. So if you see an inflatable rat, it's either a ghost concert. It's either a ghost concert or the union's pissed. And they weren't protesting AEW. There's nothing to do with AEW. I do want to clear AEW's name in this. This is the fact that the building is non-union, and AEW is the biggest company to run out of the building. So the unions are protesting, using this as an opportunity to educate and hopefully talk somebody like AEW into hiring union workers when jobs like this travel, because in other places, union workers are used.
Yes.
So this is not AEW's fault. They just happen to be caught in the middle of it. Now, put your money where your mouth is and hire some union workers. That's what I'm saying. Now you're obligated.
Yeah.
But that's what it is. And I do have a problem with corporations. Listen, they're all underpaying. Wherever they can, whenever they can. So if they could skip a union, of course they're going to skip a union. That's why we need the rat.
Yeah.
Not the Hogan rat, the inflatable rat. The Tobias Forge rat.
Well, apparently they're going to be out there on the sidewalk.
Good.
Before every show.
Good.
This week, like I said, they're here all weekend. I think they're doing six shows here. I think they're taping. Well, they tape Collision. They did Dynamite last night.
Whatever the fucking show is. Yeah, Collision.
Collision.
Collision, Dynamite, Death Before Dishonor on Friday.
Yeah.
Another Collision, another Dynamite, and another Collision. I mean,
yeah.
That's not bad.
In Philly. I don't think they got off to a good start if we're talking about the wrestling part of the show.
I've missed it, so I'm going to have to take you guys are recording this to me.
I've never seen a crowd. I want to. First of all, the arena looked great. I will have to say the 2300 arena has undergone so many changes, cosmetic changes inside and out. It looked great on TV.
Turd, but sure.
Yeah, I agree. But it looked great on TV for what they did. But I had never seen a crowd in that arena be so quiet. Just everyone, and even when everyone was standing, no one was cheering. They didn't bring any other heavy hitters. The only person that made a dent, because he had so much history, in that arena. It was Samoa Joe, and you put him in a 6-man. The only other person that makes a dent in Philly, and I was there at that very same arena where he lost his teeth. I stepped in his blood, was Mark Briscoe, and he wasn't there because he just had a baby. And they showed him on the screen there. But no MJF, no Hurt Syndicate, no MVP.
I mean,
It's a long week, though.
Wardlow made his return to the company at the pay-per-view. He's another body to the Callis family, yay. And they didn't even mention why he joined the family.
They didn't even introduce him, D. Yeah, Don Callis comes out with Wardlow and nothing. And they didn't say, it didn't, Man of the Mask goes, and there's Wardlow. Like, really? That's his, he was the biggest babyface in your company. And now he's just saying, oh yeah, there's that guy. And they even put him in the ring, do something with him.
Yeah, have him attack.
You know what? I'll take it back. The arena looks really nice now.
Yes,
they must have done more work to it. Yeah, that looks really good.
It looks really good,
considering it's a bingo hall. I mean, it's essentially a place where Wardlow's just standing there doing. This is great. That's just.
He's just a guy.
He's just a guy.
Yeah. So is Josh Alexander, their big signing from a couple months ago.
Yeah, he was
just a guy.
That's great, and guys.
None of the matches did anything to want you to tune in. Like the main event was it Mox against Daniel Garcia? Okay. It's like they're still trying to push that guy. Like he's anybody that fans would want to see, or only if you're an AEW faithful would you think that Daniel Garcia is a main event in any, stratosphere or multiverse, but that's what you pull out for your first show in Philly after a pay-per-view, and you don't have stars, but none of them were there. Like I said, no MJF, no Hurt Syndicate, no Swerve.
Yeah.
And I know we got 6 days, but start off well. Okay, you can end with that with Daniel Garcia.
I see they almost made Taz cry.
Yeah, again, after the cameras went off the air, and they gave him a great send-off. That would have gotten more viewers than if you actually aired it.
Started the show with that.
Yes. Yeah. Hey, we're in Philly.
Why didn't they?
They're retiring.
Wait, this wasn't on the episode.
No.
It was after the cameras went off the air. After the show went off the air, and Tony Khan came out and gave a great tribute to Taz. Yeah, they gave a great tribute to Taz, which was off the air, of course.
Good job,
why would they put it on the air?
Right, he's literally the real connection to the spirit of that building. Even when NXT ran that building, they had RVD. Yeah. Like and Bubba came out. Like,
did RVD know he was there?
I don't know. That crowd was dead. If you would have had somebody with a connection to the heart of that building, it would have made that crowd erupt, and they saved it for after the show.
Or even if you booked matches that fans would care about, that's something that would happen. I mean, FTR, which in any other Philly crowd, they would have been cheered out the building, since that's a team that Philly would get behind. And they're telling Dax and Cash to shut the fuck up, and then they bring out Edge and Christian. Oh man,
I don't know, but I could watch Samoa Joe and Ricochet go at it a couple more times. That was pretty good. I know it was in a tag match, but damn,
yeah,
that was not bad.
And you have Ricochet and his team. They're officially feuding with the Hurt Syndicate. And their first match on TV, after they start this feud with the
Hurt Syndicate,
they lose.
Yeah, of course, because that's how you push a team. I mean, bad enough you take the belts off the Hurt Syndicate without them being pinned. You make a 3-way out of nowhere, and then they don't even show up in your next televised show. I mean, they're barely on TV as it is. And the guys that cost them the World Tag Team Championship, they want credit for having long-term booking, because Ricochet tried to join the Hurt Syndicate and he was kicked out. So Ricochet gets his revenge with his 2 badass guys. They're going to take down the Hurt Syndicate, and they lose.
Okay.
Yeah, so okay.
Well,
Yeah.
you know what the fuck you want?
It's I always try to give them the benefit of the doubt because I don't want to
I'm
seem like I'm
trying.
always bashing. Yeah, I don't want to bash them all the time, but they make it easy to bash them.
They're making it real easy for me to even join in, which brings me to my other point. Bear with me here. Forbidden Door, a long show.
Was
I
it
don't know how you did it.
35 matches? Is it still going on?
I think it's still happening. It was 13 matches.
Oh,
Why?
Who knows? I don't care if you want to put on a hardcore match.
mm-hmm.
It doesn't bother me in that way. This is something that affects my life. There's one of the things, if you don't want to watch it, turn the channel. I get it.
Yeah.
Why is that the main event? There's no momentum in those matches.
No.
And that's not a complaint about the matches. Those matches are slogs. That's the point. They're slow. They're very, very, very one gear because they're doing spots where they got to set up a bunch of shit or they got to get a fork ready to shove into somebody's ear. That should not have been the main fucking event when the two matches before that stole the show again. And I'm not even going to say put Toni Storm and Athena, should have, on as the main event. The match was awesome. But Hangman Page and MJF had a great match.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't get, I am not a Hangman Page fan. I'm not a detractor where I'm like, fuck that motherfucker. But I know you are. But I'm talking about me.
Yeah.
I don't care either way is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
But they had a great match. The match before that, like I said, Athena and Toni Storm was great. I wish it was a little longer, but you know, they have to do this fucking cage match. And then you get into the cage match where I'm like, there was probably 10 minutes ago and I shut it off. I was like, I don't care. I don't care, which is my prerogative. Great song. But again, why is that not the first match? Every match before that was better. All of them.
The thing is, you have 13 matches and you're saving the last one as the hardcore match. But the 10 out of the previous 12 matches, you might as well call them hardcore matches because there were chairs and people are going through. So why is a hardcore match special all of a sudden where every match in AEW is a hardcore match? Or the refs don't count. There's no rules. You know, and there's no no one ever gets disqualified.
Yeah, I forgot what match. I think it was was it Sabre versus Nigel McGuinness?
Yeah.
Where they were talking about, well, if he does that, there's going to be you can get disqualified. He does that, and then he does that. And I'm like, well, what the fuck?
It's why
would you call it out?
It's like Hangman versus MJF, and then like if Hangman gets disqualified, MJF wins the belt. And then, like 10 minutes after they say that, Hangman puts MJF through the table. I'm like, so shouldn't MJF?
No, that was it. You're right. No, it was that match. It was that.
I was like, I'm like, shouldn't MJF be the champion?
Why is he not the champion? What the fuck are we doing?
and for those provisions in the first place, and why are you making those when they don't count in every AEW match? And if you get counted out, you lose the belt. When has there ever been a count out? In any AEW match anywhere in the history of AEW.
Nothing I can remember.
So why is that all? And if you could make up that rule just for that match, why can't that rule be enforced in any previous match?
By the way, this makes remember the whole thing. I know you do. This is rhetorical, where you couldn't jump off the top rope in WCW.
Yeah.
This shit makes that look brilliant.
What made these, and I'm going to go back, kids, why there's rules that were enforced and why the referee matters, because in the NWA, if you threw a man over the top rope, you're automatically disqualified.
Correct.
No ifs, ands, or buts, even if it was a TV bout.
Period.
In Texas, if you came off the top rope, it was a $500 fine. It was even advertised. A sign was on the bottom turnbuckle. If you jump off the top rope, it'll be $500 fine and you'll be disqualified. So when Jimmy Snuka made his debut in St. Louis, and he had already been on WWF TV, this is 1982, fans are seeing Jimmy Snuka for the first time against Roger Kirby, going nuts. He jumped off the top rope and the fans were on their feet. When Jimmy starts to climb in 82, fans they couldn't wait to see the Superfly dive. He did it, and the referee rang the bell and disqualified Jimmy Snuka and gave the bout to Roger Kirby, who had to be taken out on a stretcher because he was selling the effects. And the fans were going crazy. And the reason, because that rule was enforced, because it meant something. Harley Race would distract the referee and throw his opponent over the top rope. But he's going, you didn't say that.
Yeah.
Because it meant something. You have you have a referee because it means something.
Yeah.
Hell, let everyone on Earth, Lex Luger was celebrating with balloons falling out of the fucking ceiling because he beat Yokozuna by a count out. Because it meant something. You counted out, he won.
By the way, if that doesn't tell you your run's over, I don't know what doesn't. It was a count out, by the way. That's it, bro.
So the reason why is something in the first, because it mattered. If you want those to be the provisions in a match, that if you get counted out, you lose the title, have fucking count outs then leading up to it. Yeah. Actually count people out. Actually disqualify someone. Then it will mean something when you take that rule away. Wrestling Historia moment right now. 2 days ago, Dusty Rhodes lost the NWA Heavyweight Championship back to Harley Race. He held the belt for 5 days leading up to it, and Harley Race was going to get one more shot at Dusty Rhodes, and after that, Dusty was going to go to Japan, and he wasn't going to come back to Florida to defend it. So this would be Harley Race's last shot. And because the match was signed before Dusty won the title, the match stipulation was if there's a disqualification, because Harley Race always got himself disqualified and to keep the NWA Championship, if Harley Race threw anyone, if you got thrown over the top rope, he could lose the belt by disqualification. So Dusty won the belt on the August 21st, but the August 26th match that he signed ahead of winning it meant that if you were disqualified, he would lose the NWA Heavyweight Championship. Harley Race had Dusty Rhodes in a pile driver, and Dusty back body dropped Harley, and Harley flew over the top rope. And Dusty Rhodes lost his NWA Heavyweight Championship by disqualification because that was a provision that was put in the contract. That happened August 26, 1979, because it meant something.
Simple. Wrestling is so simple. You don't have to make it any more difficult than it has to be.
It's your mouth to God's ears, Derek. Yes, it's really that simple. You do something once and then it gets over. One guy does a moonsault, Great Muta, that's his move. Every single person on the card does a moonsault. Remember when only one person did the super kick?
Yes, and how over it was? Yes.
And how you could get pinned by it because all it took was just one? Now it's a drinking game.
No. No, I don't remember. That would make me old, and I'm not old, you bitch. Well, here, just to keep it an equal opportunity stream, I guess our last topic will be the WWE Speed titles are on NXT.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my thought. Okay.
I don't even know who's the Speed champion. I don't even know.
Well, I don't either. So,
okay.
Because it stopped a long time ago, and I don't fucking remember.
Okay.
Again, it's not something I was hating on, but it is something I was like, why are they? Why? Let's see. I guess it's El Grande for Mick. Here, shut up, Mick.
Here's a belt. You're important.
Here,
now.
Sol Ruca is not white enough. Here's the speed title. I'm making that up. That's a joke, but you wouldn't know.
Speaking of white enough,
Right
I
here.
wasn't. The match between Trayvon and Oba Femi, that might be match of the year for me. And
yeah,
go ahead, D.
I was gonna say when I first saw Javon Evans, he was like what 20 years old, and he's like a little scrawny kid.
I thought he was gonna get broken in half.
Yeah, I was like, he's gonna be fun. Like he'll be a fun little thing, and he'll
just be fun.
Yeah, he's awesome. I saw somewhere where somebody said if they groom him right, he can be the next face of the company. He's young, kids like him. He's different in the ring. He has a different look. So he's awesome. And I'm gonna say this for the first time out loud, and I hope nobody kills me. Oba Femi, to me, at this point, if handled right, his ceiling is higher than Braun Breaker's.
Yeah.
Just based off his potential alone. And I pray, don't even take the title off him. Let him just give the title away like Oscar did. Move him up and move him into, as soon as he gets to the main roster, put him in a feud with a major name, and you have a superstar in your name.
And I agree with everything you said, Derek. I even said it back then, when you're talking about Juneteenth. Could be. I agree. Keep it on Oba and have him retire it. I think.
Steiner.
Yeah.
They've given him his stupid uncle's voice. I don't mean his uncle's stupid. They've given him his voice, and he barks and he suplexes. Yeah. What else is there? Great, that's guys. It. Now, what else is he gonna do?
Yeah, what's next?
That's great. Oba Femi has everything. He can strive for whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah.
Thank God.
He has no ceiling, but I think that's where. Yeah, it was amazing. That's my match of the year.
I was gonna say I forgot. I was like, you know what? There's a show I forgot to watch last week, and it was Heatwave, and I have to go back and watch that now because I was playing the highlights underneath you guys talking about it, and
yeah. What? I
don't know how he hit the table from that far out.
That's his athleticism. That's what.
Daddy, I came in the bathroom. Came in the bathroom.
In the bathroom? Okay, good. You're welcome.
Daddy, can I come this?
He said, "Daddy, you got 5 minutes. Hurry up."
We got 5 minutes, man. Let's go.
Daddy.
Yeah, here, take your married Luigi plans.
Okay, sure.
Okay, no problem.
Oh.
But yeah, Blake Monroe, I like her too. I think Blake Monroe or Mariah May, she's going to be a star. As soon as she finds out, gets her footing, what she's getting, she's a main roster star.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Ethan Page and Chelsea Green are amazing together.
Yeah. Yeah, but there are people we could see that anyone could see were major stars when they were in AEW. And it's like, why aren't they being used? So the fact that they come here to a loaded company on both brands, in both brands, and they're still getting over as stars.
Yes.
Shows you the difference between, what a booker is and, what a booker isn't.
That's true.
Yeah. Good old Sean. Who would have thought the guy who didn't want to do jobs in the 90s is an amazing booker 2025.
Mm-hmm. When is Jordan Grace gonna
has to be now, right?
Yeah.
Because they keep teasing they keep pushing the her and Blake Monroe, but I'm like, not that I'm okay with that because it just started, but I'm like, when is that gonna break?
Mm-hmm.
And you need her with Naomi gone. There's a spot open right there.
Daddy.
You can put her in that spot.
Well, do you feel it with? Do you feel that spot with someone from NXT, or do you feel it with someone who's already there, like an Natalia or a baby?
How about you fill it with Sol Ruca and take the damn stupid speed title off her? Hey, there, I just did it. Hey, Sean.
Or Stephanie Vacker,
I do take commission.
Yeah, so she's another one.
Sean, I'm over here. Sorry.
So she's another one. She's gonna be they have a lot of young girls too. Like Callie Armstrong, who's gonna evolve. And Kendall Gray, who I think was on the show last week. They're she's on the show this week. They got so many women, it's ridiculous.
I just still keep thinking about that conversation a month ago. She's not black.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It just makes me laugh.
Yeah. She goes, people are surprised when I tell them I'm black. I'm like, oh, poor girl.
She's not black. Yes, no, she's going out there on television and lying about being black in 2025.
Yeah, right. Those pictures of her dad are fake.
Yes, no, because they didn't even look. Google Sol Ruka's dad.
Yeah, yeah. It's like people go, The Rock isn't black. His father is Soul Man, Rocky Johnson. So doesn't get much blacker than that.
He's not really black. Okay. By the way, if we could somehow work out a deal that the Phillies could get rid of Jordan Romano and Beasley can rehire Kathy Romano.
Oh yeah,
that'd be.
We could switch Romanos. That'd be great.
Yeah, we could switch Romanos and make it work somehow.
And okay, Derek, congratulations.
No. Nobody talks shit about the Mets. Everybody, there's Philly fans right now that I adore, that I love, that are like, see, the Phillies just are struggling in New York. They're a good team. They're going to have to go through the fucking Mets, dude.
Yeah.
What aren't you getting about that?
I didn't know it was 10 straight till like the ninth inning yesterday. And I was like, wow, they've lost 10 straight.
Yep.
Fuck.
So, yeah,
Fuck. They're a good team. If like,
Dan, I'm congratulating Derek on winning his World Series.
Oh, that's what we're doing.
Of beating the Phillies.
I should have shut my mouth. I apologize.
Because that's what it is.
I just want to point out that the views and opinions of Craig Lithans are not a reflection on Dan Lloyd.
I just think it's funny that last night we probably found a nice young ace.
Yeah.
And you guys lost Wheeler for the season. So it's funny how those things work. And,
the cosmic ballet goes on.
Not the last game, the game before that when we tied it up at 5. And I said, we are losing this game. We're losing this game. And then we brought in the superstar with the cool entrance. And what was it? Six pitches?
Yep.
Yeah.
6 pitches. And I'm like, that's great. I just shoved that fucking entrance up his ass with that fucking tarantula. I don't give a damn. Win a baseball game. When
Bader hit the home run, I said to myself, and Bader was a Met last year, he doesn't hit home runs. He's a great defensive center fielder. He's amazing. So when he hit that home run, I was like, it's
I think great's a bit much too, but okay.
He's good. He's multiple glove. He was good in his younger days in St. Louis.
Right.
But yeah, what's the third baseman, Braum, when he was complaining about the microphone thing?
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, you're frustrated at that point, guys. Everything annoys you because you're frustrated. That's all.
I'm sorry. I have a problem. I know it's 8:00, so we're done after this. I have a problem with this Philly team being dominant, but they can't get their collective heads out of their own asses in New York. I don't want to hear anything about New York then. If you can't beat New York, you have a popcorn farm. There's nothing. You don't have anything.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear the rest of it. They have to beat teams in other stadiums. Playing baseball and only winning at your house doesn't work. And we're still talking about this. Why?
It's not football. Football is the only place where you just can win enough and get home field advantage throughout the playoffs, and it doesn't matter. But baseball.
This is why they chant "Go Birds" at baseball games. There's your answer. Anyway, Derek's got to go, and quite frankly, it's late, and I have more work to do after this, and I see my mother-in-law calling, and when you don't answer the phone, even though you're doing something else, I'm going to get yelled at. So,
I know the feeling.
5 years ago today, was it? We lost
Great Chadwick Boseman.
Yes, our king. Yes,
Fantastic actor. Beyond Black Panther.
yes.
And Donald Trump's still alive.
Yes.
My
Got big
mom,
ballet.
my mom
Goes on.
does that. My mom goes like randomly. She'll be like Prince will be on TV. She's like, Prince is here. Trump's still alive. Doesn't feel right.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm
a
sorry.
random
I'm
person.
bitter. I'm openly a hater, and I think I have a reason. Derek is not on social media, and Derek's busy being a father, so leave him alone. Craig, where can people follow you, sir?
Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, TikTok, and any fine dining establishment.
You can find me at the OK Dining Establishment, and just go to Dan Law TV and click on your favorite social media app and follow me there. It's in Black Panther Forever for Craig Legons and Derek McDonald and Judah. I am the above average comedian Dan Calachico. Keep it in the ring. Keep it on the paper. Phils, you gotta grow up, guys. Come on. Good night.
Go Mets.
Go Mets.
And there you have it. It's the end of the show. It's the end of the show, motherfucker.